had to take a nap late Friday afternoon. Not because I was sick, not because I had had an exhausting week, even though I did, because my daughter came to spend the weekend with me and my sister. A few months ago, she introduced us to RuPaul's Drag Race. More accurately, she insisted we watch previous seasons until my sister and I somehow became emotionally invested in queens we had never heard of before. August is Happiness Happens Month, a month intended to encourage people to notice everyday moments of joy and intentionally make room for them. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'd argue that happiness rarely happens. Now, there was a live roast event featuring several of those queens. The catch? It was an hour and 18 minutes away from my house. It didn't even start until 11 p.m. If you're in your 20s, that's maybe a normal Friday night. If you're 60 and your sister is nearly 72, that's basically the middle of the night. This adventure required strategy. It required a nap. It required 2 dinners. It required accepting that we were going to spend more energy than we normally would. And we did it anyway. Because saying yes to fun is mental health. For years, I probably wouldn't have done it. Not because I didn't want to, because I would have talked myself out of it. It's too late. It's too far. I'll be tired tomorrow. I've got work to do. And honest, those are all perfectly reasonable arguments. The problem is that our brains are very good at generating reasonable argument for saying no to the very experiences that keep us emotionally healthy. We budget time, we budget money, we rarely budget joy. More often it got scheduled, just like last weekend. If I hadn't intentionally taken a nap, there would have been no roast. If we hadn't intentionally left the house, there would have been no laughs. If we hadn't intentionally protected the evening, work would gladly have consumed it. Joy has competition, and work usually wins by default. Your brain was built to notice problems. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes sense. This makes perfect sense. Your ancestors survived because their brains noticed danger more quickly than beauty. Under chronic stress, that bias becomes even stronger. The brain becomes increasingly focused on solving, fixing, producing, responding, managing, anticipating. That's useful in a boardroom. It's less useful if you've forgotten how to enjoy your own life. One of the concepts I teach clients is that we don't rebuild well-being by waiting for extraordinary moments. We rebuild it by retraining the brain to notice ordinary ones. Neuroscience calls this savoring. It's the deliberate act of staying with a pleasant experience just a little longer instead of rushing past it. Research suggests that the frequency of positive experiences matter more than their intent. We don't need bigger highs. We need more moments that tell our nervous system, you're safe. This is good. The real work isn't finding joy. It's letting yourself have it. This isn't just important in addiction recovery. It's important for anyone living under sustained stress. Executives, caregivers, healthcare professionals, parents, business owners, people whose calendars are full and whose nervous systems rarely get a day off. One of the casualties of chronic stress is permission. We stop asking, would this be fun? Instead, we ask, is this productive? They're not the same question. So, this Friday, I probably complained a little when my alarm went off from my nap. I probably wondered why on earth we had agreed to stay out until after midnight. I almost certainly needed coffee. And I have a feeling that somewhere between the laughter, the ridiculous costumes, and watching generations of women enjoy something together, my brain got exactly what it needed. Not because happiness happened, because we made room for it. What have you quietly talked yourself out of because it felt impractical, inconvenient, or unproductive? It might be worth asking whether your schedule is protecting your responsibilities or crowding out the very experiences that help you carry them.